Tell me a few tips for parents these days who are struggling, because I a lot of parents that I meet these days, they say, they have just over involved the parents in the child's daily activity, this homework, that homework. And then I also feel parents these days are aiming towards raising perfect children. Piano class, dance class, singing class, this class, that class.
Yes.
Right, perfect. Wake up at 5 o'clock and this and that. So, as the founders and chairman of the school, as well as a psychologist, right?
Yeah.
Give me a few tips for parents who are struggling.
Of course, I can tell you all the parents, but first I would like to talk about the teachers.
Yes, please.
Because you see, when the teachers are also in tune with the principles of education, irrespective of the syllabus. Now you see, there are two different things we are talking about. One is the syllabus of the school. Okay, be it a Central Board of Secondary Education or the ICSE school or local state level board or whatever. Every school has a syllabus to be followed. That is fixed, that we have to do. But the other one is the development of the child, the care, If that training is not given to the teachers, the other training alone is not enough. See, nowadays they are coming up with capacity building workshops and not capacity building of what? They say no, that particular subject. If a teacher is English teacher, capacity building, how she'll be a better English teacher. But I say no. First, a teacher should be a better human being. If she is a lady, teacher should be a better mother. If a gentleman, a maid teacher should be a better father for these students. So that capacity building has to be done for the teachers. So, and of course, we spoke about a love of God and fear of God, but that thing should be in their heart that this child is a noble soul. And if I'm dealing with the child, I am dealing with a noble soul. Just have the example of Mahatma Gandhi, Abdul Kalam, Mother Teresa, and all these big contributors to human society. Weren't they child once upon a time? Just imagine all these children who are coming to us for education, they are someone and there's some pure soul behind them. They're not empty slates that you think, okay, now I can write on them and just do whatever I can. At that point of time, if you're in the classroom, the teacher should understand that I am the mother of this many children, I'm the spiritual educator of these many children, and they are my children. And whatever may happen to them, I will be responsible for. That feeling, if that is developed in the teachers.
And how do you do it in your school?
Yes, we just talk about it like the way we talk now. Similarly, we sit and we talk about it. Like suppose I have an instance that a teacher was upset when she went to the class and she retaliated to the children, and maybe she really didn't want to harm a child, but by just holding the ear of the child, it was very painful for the child. And later on, when I came to know, and I asked the teacher that, what happened? Why did you do so? Because the child is in pain and you are answerable. I'm not saying that you're answerable to the parents, you're answerable to God because you have made that child feel hurt. She said, Ma'am, I was helpless, I was tired. It was not my class, I'd just gone for a substitution class and the teacher was not there. And so I was tired already, that was my break, I wanted to just relax or something. I said, okay, you could have told. Then I took her aside and did a bit of counseling with her. And I said, see, next time, even if the coordinator, principal, whoever will ask you for taking an extra class when you're not in the frame of mind, just say no. Say that you have a problem, you're not fit enough to take a class. Take 10-15 minutes of your own time in the office, staff room, relax. When you feel good, go back to the classroom. It's okay. We can bear with that. Talking to the teachers individually also. When a teacher has already got some family issue, she comes to the class. Either she has problem with her in-laws or with her husband or with her own children. There are some teachers whose children are in class 10. Their own children. They're in class 10. They're going to appear board exam. And when they come to the school, they're always worried. My child is at home preparing for the exam. It's okay, take leave. It's all right. Take leave, be at home with your child. Even if your child prosper, we will be happy. And we substitute.
That is an enormously compassionate approach. Now, a lot of people might argue, but it is an institution we are running. This is not a psychiatrist's office or psychologist's office. And that is the reason people get. They say, after a point of time, we cannot control. There are so many children, there are so many teachers. We can't get into what's going on into each other's heart. But you put immense amount of effort. You listen to them, you address it, which mostly people don't. And people also argue that, no, teachers and children, they need to be disciplined. Otherwise, they'll become too soft. People say that,
Yeah.
right? What would you say to that?
What's wrong in being soft? Okay? Imagine about Ukraine and Russia war. What's happening? These soldiers, are they willingly going to the battlefield? No. Every individual has a soft heart. Every individual is being created noble. Give them a chance to demonstrate their nobility. This is the argument. This is the argument that you give them a platform to demonstrate their nobility. If they want to be kind, let them demonstrate it. If the children are sharing their tiffin, the evening snacks, if they're sharing and teacher says, no sharing, have your own tiffin, why you have not brought this, that? Okay, we discipline them, but you all have to bring. But if a child happily wants to share with someone else, that is a nobility. The child is coming up with that, Just give it. And sometimes the children in the field, they fall down and maybe they hit each other by mistake. And we always think that they have done it purposely. Then that's also not correct. So what we do, we call them to the office, we talk to them. They practice truthfulness. Give them a scope to speak the truth. I'm not going to punish you. You just tell me. And just maybe a few months ago, a child came from the field. There was a break, recess time. They were playing. I'm full of scratches and hurt. And I said, what happened? I was running, so-and-so pushed me. And so-and-so has already gone to the class. So I just said, okay. A caregiver, a nurse was cleaning their wound and putting, not very deep wound, but just surface, she was cleaning. And I said, you call so-and-so from the class. And then they brought the boy and I said, look, what happened to your friend? He said, oh my God, what happened to him? Like the child was shocked, the other child. Whereas everyone was thinking that he should be accused, he should be punished. He was shocked. What happened to him? He said, you pushed me. I never knew. I just happened, like maybe accidentally I was running. I never knew. It was not on a purpose. I'm sorry. Immediately, instantly. I said, okay, I understand. If you're feeling sorry, can you help him to recover? Then we gave the other child. He took we bought sablon and cotton and cleaned up the wound and, and the compassion is, you feel better? Yeah. I said, now you take him to the class. And that boy took him to the class. So I had two options. I could make him stand there, hold his ears, give him punishment, sit and stand punishment, why you push. The other approach which I had was to make him understand that how much he's hurt and how he is feeling and how you can be of help. So if this is being practiced, what is wrong? If the child is soft enough to understand the empathy, if the empathy is being developed in the children. That's why I'm working on peace education. But how these how these emotions can be really put into practice. These emotions are beautiful. God's creation is beautiful. Humanity is noble. Give them opportunity to perform their nobility.
And I also love that Sir really supports you in your endeavors. You're doing your PhD.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Always I'm supportive.